Hey guys, Twiggs here. So I'm going to be talking about some things that have been on my mind since I got up this morning, and it's more so covering it's kind of a development that's been kind of building up ever since the Gamespot Genshin Impact interview, while also covering this right here, the Genshin iOS revenue based on the Chinese market. I'm gonna be really looking forward to seeing the revenue as a whole from all the other regions, but we can get a good idea based on the Chinese market, because the Chinese market's so large, and they typically get, well, due to time zones and how the servers work, they obviously get everything before everyone else. So before I jump into this, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, helps build a community over here, and when you do subscribe, you're subscribing to more gaming content like this, along with other games that I play like Destiny 2, Warframe, Overwatch 2. And while you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll be informed whenever I go live or upload any new content. So, what about this is so interesting? Well, if you haven't already analyzed this chart as much as I did, well, in the first 24 hours, the Nahida and Yoimiya rerun, let's be honest here, it's mostly the Nahida Banner, it's already hit a little over 5 million US dollars. Already hit over 5 million. It already jumped to the top spot, beating the Venti rerun, beating the Ayato and Venti rerun, beating the Yelan banner, beating the Kazuha banner, beating Tignari, beating Sino, beating Albedo, beating the Raiden Shogun banner. And a big part of this is right now the Genshin Impact player base is right now as big as it's ever been. The Genshin Impact player base is right now super big. I'm pretty sure that's playing a part in this amount right here. And there's other things too. This is a Archon character, Nahida, and I'll speak from personal experience. Nahida is an amazing character. Nahida is an Archon. Like I said, Archon characters are typically really good, and her gameplay speaks for it. Her gameplay is insane, and it is nuts, and it is she takes basically what we see from the Dendro Traveler to a whole nother level. But I keep going back to this. There is a dark cloud over the Genshin Impact game as a whole. And again, I'm going back to it. The GameSpot interview really did hurt the morale of the player base. And to exemplify that, I'll take you to a clip of Mtashed's last video, going over Nahida will change Genshin Impact forever, and it is true. Her game design, her gameplay, her kit is nuts. And Mtashed said something really notable in this part of his video. And I'm going to play it, and you guys will definitely see what I'm talking about. Shout out to Mtashed. He's one of my favorite creators. I can't say enough good things about this guy. If you're not subscribed to him, I definitely recommend subscribing to him. But let me play the clip.
I'm saving all my wishes for her C2. No. Honestly, again, at the end of the day, there'd be nowhere that defense shred would ever matter. See, okay, can I explain something? Here's
what he's talking about here. I'll play this.
Here's the sick thing. The game.
He's gonna talk about her C2. And that's what he means. That's what he's referring to.
Gamer in me looks at this. I read this and I go, oh man, and then I read this and I go, oh my god, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about the math and I'm like, oh my god, I see the potential. And so the gamer in me wants this, and Mihoyo, you almost got me. But then I realize there's no point to it. And so then I can usually at some point bring myself back and realize, okay, I should probably get Dia or one of the new characters because they're going to be fun to play with instead of more damage that I'll never need. You know what I'm saying? I've been pulling though. I wasted all my wishes. I used more than I should have. I used like 40 wishes.
And that kind of touches on it. Mtashed is free to play. But the point I want to touch on is that, as Mtashed is saying there is no point. You see this amount. The 5,100,000. That number could have been higher if the players that do play for the combat didn't see that interview, or that interview never happened, and people would still be wishing for constellations. Remember, for all of you that are like, well, Genshin Impact is a game that you should play for the story. Genshin Impact is a game that you should play for the adventure. Genshin Impact is a game that combat doesn't... look at the game. The game... Look at it. Look at the abilities. Look at the constellations. Look at the weapons. Quit lying to yourself. The game, everything about the game, yes, ties into exploration, ties into adventuring for the story, but everything else, 90% of the game is tied to combat. The reason that constellations exist, if you look at the constellations, they're all combat focused. What Hoyoverse is doing with Genshin Impact is, well, by not developing or putting development time into making permanent combat focused endgame, it doesn't have to be Spiral Abyss. Nobody is asking for a Spiral Abyss clone. We're asking for something else that's combat focused permanent endgame. And by Hoyoverse saying that we're not going to do that, what's the point? What's the point of wishing for constellations? Mtashed said it. He would have considered. Based on what he said, if he had more wishes, hell, if he was a person that was a light spender, if he was a whale, he would have more than likely went for C2 or even higher if that interview never happened. If Hoyoverse did not say they were not making any permanent combat focused endgame. They're leaving money at the table by having that mindset. And you know what? It's not just Mtashed. I'll go to Tectone. Tectone is another creator / streamer that I enjoy watching. He's a cool dude. And again, shout out to Tectone. He's a guy that, again, I would recommend watching his channel, watching his content. I recommend subscribing to him.
That's why people are ignoring this. The business move is to ignore the article and the interview that was written and just move on and act like everything's okay. I can't do it. And I realize that. I just can't do it. Can't do it. And in 3.2, the hypostasis event, I'll probably enjoy, but I don't know how to move forward from the article, guys. I just don't. And I want to pretend like we always do. New update comes out. All the issues from before are gone. And if you keep talking about it, you're petty, like they always say to me. I really don't know how to move forward from that article, guys. I don't. I don't know how other people are doing it. I don't know how every other content creator I've seen has moved forward. I don't get it. I don't know how they're doing it. And if they haven't, I don't know why they're hiding it. I can't act happy with the game when I'm not. And I'm not. I'm really not. I'm so not happy with the game. It's ridiculous.
But I'm not going to play everything that he said in this video because it would be a lot. But I'll kind of cover pretty much everything he said in brief notes. Back in his previous video about how he said he wasn't going to wish for Nyla, he said that he was probably going to wish for Nahida. But once he got to this point, he was thinking about it and he was kind of on the fence. But as his chat in his stream went on, he basically had a change of heart. He had a change of his mind. And he just couldn't do it. And there was a couple reasons why. First off, Tectone has a love-hate relationship with the Genshin community. Well, he loves his chat, he loves his community, but he kind of really hates the Genshin community. And at some point in his stream, a member of the chat, I believe it was probably the Genshin community chat, part of his chat I should say, basically made a joke about a lolly, because Nahida's a short little girl, and therefore somebody could call her a lolly, and it basically grossed him out. And basically that pretty much hit the nail in the coffin, and Tectone couldn't do it. He was already on the fence, and that person in his chat basically confirmed it for him. He's not wishing for Nahida. And it was a culmination of things. The Gamespot interview, his love-hate relationship with the Genshin community, bam, done. Not gonna wish for Nahida. And honestly, it took... This video goes on and takes a pretty disappointing turn. Because, like I said, this guy he loved Genshin. And then, well, he basically said that if 3.3 doesn't hit the ball out of the park, he's pretty much not going to play Genshin anymore. And I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. That's basically what I got from him, was that he potentially may just stop playing Genshin Impact. And that's the sad thing, is that you have this guy who used to wail on this game. Tectone would make jokes about how he wailed on the game. He was self-aware. And now it's taken so far a turn that he doesn't even want to spend money on the game. He's almost at the point where he doesn't even want to play the game. He even said in the video that he's at the point where he hates Genshin Impact. That GameSpot article did a lot of damage to the morale of the Genshin community. And yes, the Nahida / Yoimiya rerun banner made a lot of money. A lot of money. But by putting that interview out, that money, there was a lot of money left on the table. Because Mtashed and Tectone are two examples of people who don't even want to spend money on the game anymore. Mtashed was already free to play. My point with Mtashed was that there's probably a lot of players like him that don't even want to spend money on the game anymore because there's no point anymore. Combat is a core feature. The three things about the game are story, exploration, and combat. You can't deny it. Combat is a core feature. And you can also say, I know what you're going to say, well, the developers don't want combat to be a part of the core feature. Developers don't want to invest in combat. They are investing in combat. Nahida's proof of it. She has one of the best combat supports, sub DPS capabilities in the game. By making this character, they invested in combat. So, yeah, I think combat's a core feature of the game.